Hey everyone, this is Steve with the As Promised Bucket List episode of Keep 'em Rolling. Now, before I show you the item, let's talk a little bit about this bucket list. All of you out there should create a bucket list if you haven't already done so. And that bucket list should contain items that are extremely extravagant. Items that you haven't put into your collection yet because at this point in your life, they're either cost prohibitive or extremely rare to find, or both cost prohibitive and rare. Those are the items that should go on your bucket list. The bucket list, an item example would be an M1 rifle. That's a good bucket list item. Or a German Luger. That's a good bucket list item. The bucket list item is a personal thing. You don't have to have rhyme or reason of why these items are on your bucket list. If you share it with people, that's your prerogative. If you share it with someone and they mock the bucket list, one rule is you do not mock someone else's bucket list. It's their personal list. If they mock it, you tell them to get their own list. In fact, when I show you this item, there might be some of you out there who go, why did you buy that? And others might be, wow, it's really cool and so forth. You never know, but it doesn't matter because it's my bucket list. So why did it take me so long to acquire this item? It's been on my bucket list for many, many years. And the reason was because the market for these is rife with fakes, repos, put-togethers, and the like, and I just didn't feel comfortable weighing into it. I thought about doing some studying and research to try and buy one, but I don't intend on collecting these. I just wanted one example, and I felt that the time and energy, and cost to study this was just not worth the outcome, so I just left it on my list, and that was it. It all changed because I met two collectors and have become friends with them who are experts in this field. Their reputation is sterling. If they tell you something is legitimate, you can take that to the bank. And one thing I really like about these two collectors is they're very humble. When you call them experts, they're like, oh, we're not experts, we just know our stuff. That to me is an expert. The people who tend to be very brash, very blowhard, those are the ones I stay away from because usually they don't know their stuff. So, on with the story. I decided to collect this particular item. I wanted to tap into their knowledge, their expertise, if you will. And I did some research, found out the ballpark of what these items were selling for, and I began to save. And for those of you out there who are watching this saying, man, it must be nice to have money because I don't. I couldn't afford to do this. I'm telling you, you can. The way you do this is you use non-money. I know, you're like, what is non-money? Non-money, ladies and gentlemen, is the flotsam and jetsam that you find on a day-to-day basis. So what I did, for example, is I put a box together, and that box was where I was going to put this non-money, and it was earmarked strictly for this particular item. Non-money is not money that comes out of your budget. It's not money that comes out of your paycheck. Non-money is the money that you just find every day around. The 68 cents in your pocket at the end of the day. You know, I pull that out, it would go into the box. I'm walking through the parking lot and I find $1 blowing across the parking lot. Snag it, into the box. I am not proud, so proud that I will not pick up change on the ground. If I see a penny, a nickel, or dime, man, I am on it. It goes into the box. Here in Michigan, we can return pop cans for 10 cents. So if I found a pop can, take it back, get the 10 cents, into the box. Check from Great Aunt Gertrude for your birthday for 25 bucks, into the box. You will be surprised how fast that money adds up. And it did. I soon had enough money. I then went to these two collectors and said, you know, I'm interested in acquiring one of these items. If you see one come up, please let me know. This is the condition I'm looking for, and so forth and so on. And within a week, they had one for me. Now, I want to stress this to all of you, and this is incredibly important, and that is that your reputation is the gold standard in this hobby. If you tarnish your reputation, you are really going to hurt yourself. You can tarnish that reputation, tarnish your reputation through lying, through misrepresenting an item, through cheating somebody out of an item, and by getting collectors excited that they are going to find something for you only to turn them down simply because you just don't have the money. That is a bad way to do things. So save up the money, then let collectors know that you are interested in acquiring an item. And that's what I did. And literally within a week, I received a text message saying, hey, we got one for you. And I was like, I thought it was a joke. I texted back saying, ha, 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 you're really funny. And they're like, no, no, really, we found an item. We'd like to meet you and we can show you and see what you think. So I met them in a parking lot. It was kind of clandestine. It was pretty cool. They showed me the item. I was like, wow, that's perfect. And I agreed to buy it. I met them then again a few days later, a little more formal this time, and paid them and acquired the item. Now, as far as acquiring the item, telling collectors that you want something and then turning them down simply because you haven't bothered to raise the money, that's bad. Telling collectors you want something and then when you look at it and it's overpriced or what you feel is overpriced and turning them down, that's okay. You know, if this item had been double what I'd seen online, I would have been like, thanks, but it's just, you know, way, way out of my ballpark. Or condition. You know, if I would have looked at this and the condition was just not what I wanted, I'm not obligated to buy it. And they would take no offense to that aspect, okay? So just keep those in mind. Well, I've talked long enough. Let's look at the item that I acquired. I'm so excited. I'm gonna flip here the little button and see if we can get this to turn over. And here we go, drum roll. And the item, oh, look at that. Holy cow. I can't believe I actually own one of these. This, ladies and gentlemen, is an enlisted man's visor cap device. Look at the shine. I mean, it's just amazing. All these years, and I finally own. I did. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I actually got to the point where I thought I'm going to end the video with this and just say thank you everybody. There's the Holy Grail item, and just end. And I knew the comments would have been crazy. You guys would have been like, what the heck? He said don't mock the Holy Grail item, don't mock the bucket list, but why did he buy this and what's important about it? So this is not the item. The item, sorry, the item is this right here. It's something I've wanted for many years. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a late war German infantry officer's visor cap. And I just, you know, it's something that, like I said, it's been on the list for quite a while. It's got the late war material, so it's a little more coarse than early war. It's got the late war zinc eagle there with the gildings kind of worn off, but that's fine with me. It's got the bullion wreath cockade there going. It's got the officer's cord, nice buttons on the side. And I love the sweep. It's got the saddle sweep, which is very classic for German headgear from this period. So overall, just a nice, solid, unmessed with example. Now, I got it for a very good price, and the reason being is when we turn it over here and look on the inside, let's get it going the right way here, you can see that the sweatband on the inside is damaged. It's stained, it's got some cracking here in it, so it's got some issues. And according to these collectors, your really hardcore German hat collectors, they want things in virtual mint condition. But for me, I actually like the wear. You know, as I talked about with the Brigadier General officer's cap that I acquired and did a video on here, you know, an earlier video on, men at this time period wore pomade in their hair. And that pomade tended to react with the leather. So you would get the staining, you would get just the general wear. And that leads me to believe that this hat was this cap, if you will, was a daily wear for this officer. And I like those. I like the daily wear. You know, mint is fine, but, you know, something like this, it just calls to me. Now, on the inside, we do have the sweat shield here, the sweat diamond. You can see the officer's name, V. Klein, and then we can see the store where this hat was acquired. And what's interesting is I did some research, and when you look at this, you can see that it's Jürgen Koch, and it was in Ludwigsburg, and Ludwigsburg is in southern Germany. It's near Stuttgart. And in doing the research, the limited research I was able to do, apparently Jürgen Koch is still in business. And looking at the facade of the store, it may be the same spot that this officer walked in and acquired this hat. It's hard to tell, and once again, without doing extensive research, I don't know, but they're still there. And, you know, it makes sense. You know, we have clothing companies in my town that have been around for 50, 60, 70 years. So my guess is they were selling men's clothing in, you know, 1941 to 45 and continued on after the war. Why not? You know, people need clothing. So this is just a nice, honest example of a German officer's visor cap. And there's really no condition issues. I mean, there's no mothing, no staining, just a nice, honest example. I couldn't be more delighted. Now, some of you may wonder, why did you acquire this? Well, I'm someone who likes to compare and contrast. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to have a cap that, you know, I could put on display next to a U.S. officer's cap, just to give that comparison of the German cap and the U.S. cap. You know, holding a piece like this in my hand is really strange. You know, I have to wonder, what was this officer's experiences during the war? You know, did he survive the war? Did his family survive the war? What was life like for him? It's also kind of strange when you do achieve something on your bucket list, because you feel this kind of gap. It's like, this has been on there for so long and now I actually own one. There's a bit there where you're like, gosh, you know, it's kind of I can't describe it. It's like a neutral zone. It's like a letdown almost. But you get over it pretty quick. And the nice thing is, now that I've achieved this, I can move on to bigger and better things on my bucket list, like maybe the World War II Jeep I've wanted all these years. I wonder how my wife will feel about that. Better not let that get out. So anyways, I appreciate all of you watching. I appreciate those of you who are subscribers to my channel. If you have comments, questions, once again, let me know. And, you know, if you like, if you dislike, let me know why. I try and get back with you. I know I haven't answered a lot from my previous video, but I plan on doing that this week. It's just, things have been really crazy. So let's end it here. This is Steve with Keep 'em Rolling, reminding all of you to keep 'em rolling.